What's up guys, Mixology Matt here, Home Depot's favorite mixologist. Why Home Depot? Because today we're talking bar tools. I'm gonna show you all the tools that you're gonna need to whip up your favorite cocktails. And if you don't have them, don't worry, because I'm also gonna show you some amazing household alternatives. Let's jump right in. So today we're talking bar tools. I'm gonna break this down into three different sections: the essentials, the extras, and the household alternatives. When I say the essentials, this is the bare minimum tools that you're gonna need as a bartender or home bartender or just an avid drinker to whip up your favorite cocktails. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is arguably the most important, the jigger. This is gonna be very crucial, arguably the most important tool. This is how we're gonna measure all of our ingredients. They come in many different shapes and sizes. Typically, you're gonna have 1 ounce on the little side and 2 ounces on the big side. Some of them do vary, but this is going to be your most important tool because bartending is all about ratios. Next, we're gonna talk about our tin-on-tin shaker set. This is a Boston shaker set, so it will always have a little and a big tin. Sometimes they use a glass instead of a tin. I prefer the tin on tin because I'm always bouncing them around. I don't want to break a glass. There are other shakers out there, such as a cobbler shaker that has a lid and a cap, but unless you're buying a really expensive one, they often leak or they're impossible to open after you shake them. So that's why I like the Boston. Let's talk about strainers. There are a few different kinds out there, but we're going to start with the Hawthorne strainer. The Hawthorne strainer has a nice coil. It fits perfectly onto your shaker set. And it's gonna be great, and it's got a nice little finger tab when you go to strain your cocktail. It is often paired with our fine strainer. Our fine strainer is gonna be used to catch all those little ice shards and any pulp when we're shaking a cocktails. The last kind of strainer is a julep strainer. It is gonna be used when you're stirring down a cocktail in a mixing glass. It fits perfectly. It's got this little ridge in here, so it will sit right on the edge of your mixing glass. And typically when you're stirring down a drink, they have bigger pieces of ice, hence why you don't need a fine strainer with this one. So our next tool is a nice fancy bar spoon. So this is gonna be clutch for stirring down drinks, for doing building glass. You just can't have a bartender kit without a nice bar spoon. This is the minimum length that you're normally gonna see for a nice one. It has a bit of a weight on the back as a counterbalance. People always ask me, why are the bar spoons so long? It's because when you're using a mixing glass, you wanna have enough room for your hands to actually stir down our cocktail. Any shorter than this and you would not be able to do this confidently. So our next important tool is going to be our mixing glass, or in other words, a Yari. Probably butchering that pronunciation, but this is a super important tool when we're stirring down all our favorite drinks like martinis, Negronis, old fashions. You can stir it in the glass, but the problem is you're likely to spill. So that's why our mixing glasses are at a pretty good height. So when you're stirring it, it's not gonna spill and you can stir more than one. They come in either glass or in metal. Completely up to you on what your preference is. If you're traveling a lot, go with the metal one. If you're more of a home bartender, glass is always a nice touch. So our next essential tool is an ice scoop. No one likes to drink without ice, and the ice scoop is how you're gonna do it. They come in different shapes and sizes. Everyone has their own preference on their ice scoops. Please don't use your hands. We don't like hand-flavored ice. And for the love of God, do not use a glass to scoop up the ice because you can get broken glass in there. It's super dangerous, and you gotta drain the well. It's a giant red flag. Don't be a red flag, use an ice scoop. Another essential tool is our knife. Having a sharp knife is super important. A dull knife is gonna remove some fingertips, and we don't wanna see that happen. So invest in a good quality knife. There are so many different styles and kinds out there. I like this one because it's a little bit smaller and it's got a nice sheath to it. So a knife is super important. Get yourself a good one. The last essential tool is going to be our corkscrew. The corkscrew is gonna be super clutch when we're opening wine, we're opening beers. It's got a couple different functions. It's got a nice little knife on the end of it, so when you're cutting the foil off of your wine bottle, it comes off super easy. And then of course, when you're actually opening it, you've got your corkscrew, and it's got 2 ridges here. So when you pry open your wine, it has 2 different level sets, and it makes it so much easier. And of course, we can't forget about our beer lovers. There is a nice little ridge here. You can crack open your beer. Please don't use your teeth. I don't care if you have a great dentist, just don't do it. And I know it's a party trick, but I've seen it gone horribly wrong. get yourself a good corkscrew that will last. So those are all the essential tools. Now I'm going to show you some other tools to build a more advanced bar kit. The funnel, absolutely critical for transferring ingredients and making sure that you don't spill stuff all over your bar. If you're a klutz like me, the funnel is absolutely clutch. Up next, we have our ice tongs and tweezers. These are great for grabbing garnishes, larger cubes of ice, or even some more meticulous ingredients, even with our fine tweezers like edible flowers or spices. And we never want to use our hands when we're grabbing things, so the tweezers are great. Up next is our muddler. This is gonna get all the juice out of your fruits, all the oils out of the peels, and that's why you need a nice muddler in your bar kit. Up next, we've got our citrus juicer. Whether we're doing limes, lemon, grapefruit, oranges, fresh is always king. Get yourself a juicer, because I swear to God, if I see the green bottle and you make a margarita, I'm gonna jump through the camera right now. So get yourself a good juicer. Fresh is always the best. This one's a little bit more unique. This is a zester or a microplane. You can get more fine strands of your zest from a citrus fruit, or nutmeg is what I use this the most often, or potential seeds like carob, but there are other uses for this thing. Definitely good in the kitchen and in your bar kit. Up next, we've got a peeler. This is going to be used for our lemons, our oranges, when we want to get the nice rind and express the oils. This is a vertical peeler. There's also the Y peelers. Both are really good. Just make sure it's sharp and you maintain it, because if you leave it untouched, it could rust. So wash it, clean it, and enjoy all your amazing zests moving forward. And finally, bottle spouts. These are there to make sure that it doesn't come flying out of the bottle and you have a controlled pour. They can come in plastic, metal, or other different shapes and sizes. It's worth getting a bag of these things, because you might lose them and you might have a lot of bottles that you're pouring all at once. So now we went through all the tools that you're gonna see in a professional bartender's kit, but not everybody will have all those tools. So I'm gonna show you how you can still deliver an incredible cocktail with some of the things that you have lying around in your kitchen. One of the most important functions we have to do is to shake a cocktail. You can get the job done in a deli container, in a mason jar. For all my gym friends out there, a protein shaker will also work. Anything that has a good lid will get the job done. Not everyone has a jigger. So to measure out our cocktails, everyone's got these baking spoons or these measuring cups. 1 tablespoon is ½ ounce or 15 mils, or you might even see 1/8 of a cup. This is exactly 1 ounce or 30 mils. So these are very clutch to have when you want to measure out your ingredients. Alternatively, you could look at a standard 1 ounce shot glass, or even a 1 ounce espresso cup could also get the job done. But I find these are a little bit more precise. These are always worth having. For all our stirred cocktails, you don't have a fancy bar spoon, no problem. You can easily use your knife, a chopstick, your finger. Just don't serve that one to anybody else. I'm curious, what's your favorite household alternative? Put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And there you have it. That's the end of the video. I hope you guys learned something today. Invest in a good bar kit. You won't regret it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Cheers.